My name is Mircea Gradu. I'm responsible for transmission and driveline engineering at Chrysler.
You have just announced that you have an 8-speed automatic transmission.
That's correct.
Tell me a little bit about it.
First of all, just to categorize it based on my previous definition, it's a planetary automatic transmission. So it's a transmission that uses a so-called torque converter between the transmission and the engine. And what makes this transmission very efficient are essentially two things. One is the transmission architecture, the way the transmission itself is designed. And secondly, the way the transmission is operated, and the damping device, if you want, the launch device, the torque converter that I mentioned, in this particular transmission is locked up in every gear it has the capability to be locked up from first gear through 8th gear, which makes the transmission operation very efficient. Usually when you slip this device, the torque converter, in launch phases when you start up or you accelerate the vehicle, that creates power loss in the driveline, and that reduces the fuel economy. As I mentioned, the transmission architecture, the way the gears, clutches, and the overall internal arrangement of the transmission, also the engine characteristics, specifically the engine torsionals, are taken into account when you design the torque converter, and more importantly, the damper element, the torsional damper, which is included in the torque converter. We don't speak that much about the torsional damper, but in an efficient torque converter assembly, that starts to take prevalence or be more important than the hydraulic component of that coupling. So that damper becomes the focus of the manufacturer versus the hydraulic circuit, because the transmission is locked up. In order to create that lockup, to create that solid connection and avoid any slip in the torque converter, you have to design the damper for higher torque, for higher torsional vibration capability, dampering capabilities.
Which vehicles will they be in first?
The two vehicles where we launched this transmission are the Chrysler 300 and the Dodge Charger. And I think that's a tremendous enhancement to the fuel economy of these vehicles, as I mentioned before, in the double-digit percentage-wise improvement in fuel economy.
How many speeds do you think an automatic transmission can have?
It's very much depending on the target powertrain for the adaptation of the transmission, but I think we reached a very good compromise right now and balance between how much fuel economy you can extract from this particular powertrain, with a Pentastar engine on the 300. And if you want to think about that in practical terms, I think there is a point of diminishing returns. As you go over 8, 9 gears, then the benefits are starting to diminish.
Mircea, thank you very much.
Thank you.